Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Matty here from ChillTCG. Thanks for tuning in. We got a good one today. We're going to be taking a look at Lucario and Melmetal-Zacian. We're doing a nice little deck profile. This was actually the exact same list that won Chill Series number 28 a couple weeks ago. I didn't have time to make a video on this list when it won because of finals week, but Joshua Sutherland did win Chill Series number 28 with Luke Metal, and right now in the format, it's actually the best performing deck in the entire standard format right now. It has a great matchup spread, it's super consistent, and this specific 60 seems to be one of the best decks that you could be playing right now, so we're going to get into it. We're just going to talk about it real quick. Cover some of the matchups, and then we're going to play a game or two and see if we can't showcase what the deck can do. Of course, first thing you'll notice, we're not running any draw support Pokemon. We literally just have 2 Luke Metals, 2 Zamazenta Vs, and 2 Zacian Vs. Now, Luke Metal is going to be sort of that main way that we get the GX attack off. We kind of eliminate 30 damage from whenever our opponent attacks any of our Pokemon. But if we get an extra metal onto this Pokemon, guys, here we're going to be using Full Metal Ball GX. So for the rest of the game, your metal Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks. And if you have 1 extra metal on top of it, you actually discard all energies from your opponent's active Pokemon, which can be really important in some matchups for sure. But this is going to be a really great card. There's also all of those Mewtwo decks running around. We have 260 HP. We're resisting Psychic by 20. If we GX, that's minus 30, and then if we get Goggles on, that's another 30. So whenever they hit us, it's minus 80 damage. This thing's going to be a huge tank. We also have Steel Fist. So for 2 energies, you do 50 damage, and then you get to search your deck for metal energy and attach it to Luke Metal. Not a huge deal to get 4 energies on to start heavy impacting, but that 50 damage is going to be enough paired with the 230 from Zacian to finish off a lot of tag team Pokemon like Mewtwo and Mew, like ADP. So that Steel Fist is going to come in clutch for sure. And after we GX attack, a lot of times we just want to start hitting with Steel Fist in a lot of matchups until this thing just gets knocked out, because for the most part we don't really mind, because at that point we should have a pretty advantageous board state set up. Of course, we've got Zacian here. It's important to get this thing out turn 1. That's why we're running 4 of them here, because we do like to Intrepid Sword early game, draw some extra cards, and hopefully hit some energies to set up for a Brave Blade later in the game. Also, 220 HP on this thing. We resist Grass, so that's going to help a lot in the Orbital matchup. But with the Luke Metal, right, with the Luke Metal damage reduction from the GX attack, as well as a Metal Goggles or a Cape on this thing, which we'll take a look at in a second, kind of becomes a tank, honestly, because, you know, if we get hit by a Zacian, if we get by a Zacian, no matter what, they can 2-hit KO us. But the whole idea here is that, we're living 1 hit, and we're going to be able to most likely attack twice with Zacian, which is going to be really, really good for us in a lot of matchups. And then, of course, we got 2 Zamazenta Vs in here. We have Dauntless Shield here, so we're prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's VMAXs. There's a lot of great VMAX decks out right now, like Urshifu VMAX, like Orbital VMAX, Eternatus VMAX. All of the VMAX decks really can struggle with this deck. And this card specifically if they're not teching for it. So that's going to be really important. Big reason why we're running 2 Zamazentas in here. And that's it for Pokemon. Just 8 basics. They're all metals. They're all have their specific purpose. We've got 3 Lillie's Dolls in here. It's going to work as a nice pivot for Zacian. It comes in clutch a lot. Also, if they miss boss on 1 turn, we can kind of put it in the active spot, stall for a turn, Intrepid, build up our board state. So 3 of those. 4 Metal Saucer is going to come in clutch because we are running 10 basic metal energies in here. Only 2 Quick Balls, but 4 Tag Calls. So with the low amount of Pokemon in the deck, it's really likely that you're honestly probably going to either start with a Zamazenta or a Zacian. If you're not drawing into it early game, we do have 2 Quick Balls, Tag Calls to find the Luke Metals and our tag team supporters. More Pokemon search isn't necessarily needed in this deck. Sometimes, I guess you can struggle finding Zacian, but we have other ways to find Zacian as well, and we're going to get into that in a second. 4 Switch cards. It's a Zacian deck. Super important. 4 Tag Calls. Now, 4 Tag Calls is really good. It's our main engine here. It's going to be how we're going to be finding our Lucario Melmetal-GX, although we can search it with Quick Ball, but we're typically going to be finding it with a Tag Call. But we also have 2 Cynthia Caitlin Tag Team Supporter, 2 Guzma Hala Tag Team Supporter, and 2 Mallow Lanas. These are going to be super extremely useful cards in here. Cynthia and Caitlin, we get to take a supporter card from our discard pile back in our hand, draw 3 cards. Going to be super, super good. Guzma Hala, we can search our deck for a Stadium, which we are running 2 Stadiums in the deck. We have a Chaotic Swell and a Power Plant. The Chaotic Swell is going to help with Welter matchups. Power Plant is extremely good against ADP, against Mat Party, against Mewtwo decks. It's going to be a really, really important card, which is why we run it there. 3 Boss as well, just thrown in there, just because why not? Boss is super clutch. You need 3. The Guzma Hala, though, if we discard 2 extra cards from our hand, we get to search our deck for Tool Card, Special Energy, and a Stadium, which really comes in clutch because we were running 5 Tool Cards in here and 5 Special Energies. And like I said here with the Cape of Toughness, this is going to help with ADP. The reason why we're running Cape and not just a bunch of Goggles is because ADP boosted Zacian with Rusted Sword is doing enough to KO a Zacian with Goggles and the Luke Metal damage reduction. But if we have a cape attached to Zacian, that's, 270 HP. And then if they're hitting minus 30 with the Luke Metal damage reduction, they have to hit for 300, and they just typically can't do that. So that's why we run the capes for that specific reason. It's really good in some scenarios, as well as Etern. But the 3 Metal Goggles, whenever you get hit, minus 30 from when you get hit to your metal Pokemon, going to be extremely good and what we're attaching most of the time in a lot of matchups. But on top of that, they can't attach. They can't put damage counters on, so we're immune to Zigzagoon, we're immune to Dragapult, we're immune to Orbeetle. Really helps this deck in a lot of matchups. I mean, we have answers to almost everything. And then, of course, we're running the capture energies. This is going to be another main way that we find our Zacians. Between the 4 Tackles, 2 Guzma Halas, and the capture energies in our deck, it's a lot more likely if we don't start with Zacian that we're actually able to put Zacian on the board with a capture energy, and we like to attach those to Luke Metal or Zamazenta because they both have colorless energies in their attack cost. So it definitely goes really well in the deck. Josh was really smart to put this in here, and I think it's really smart. And then on top of that, 2 Mallow Lanas. I mean, it's such an important card of the deck. I mean, a lot of times if you hit both of your Mallow Lanas mid, early, late game, that can be the difference between you just kind of winning the game, because a lot of times some decks aren't 2-hit KOing you, especially with Mallow Lana, and it's really going to make the difference between you just kind of surviving for a long portion of the game and slowly whittle down your opponent, or them just kind of outpacing you, right? It's really good against Pikarom, but it kind of is what it is. We have 4 Tackles, so we should be able to find Mallow Lana consistently. It's not a card that we want to prize. It's extremely useful in a lot of scenarios, and it's also just a switch card. But it reads that when you play this card, you can discard 2 other cards from your hand, and if you do, you get to heal 120 damage from that Pokemon you moved to your bench, so it's going to be phenomenally good in a lot of matchups. 4 Marnies as well as our main draw support, some extra kind of disruption in the deck as well. But it's just kind of it's just there to kind of help us draw more cards if we ever need it. And if we're just going to be Marnieing with like Power Plant or Swell in the active, and we can just Intrepid Sword a bunch, it's going to help us kind of stall until we can build up our board state. 3 Coding Energies, it's going to help with the Welder matchups, searchable with Guzma Hala. Going to remove that Fire type weakness from all of our Pokemon, so definitely really, really, really important. And then 10 Basics, again, 10 Basics because it works with 4 Metal Saucers. And it works with the Intrepid Sword ability, so it's definitely going to be really good. 15 energies in the deck total, and only 8 Pokemon, but this deck is a lot more consistent than you might think. Big shout out to Joshua Sutherland for winning. He's a 2-time Chill Series champion. He's the Luke Metal master, we all know it, but a lot of great players play Luke Metal right now, and in my opinion, it is honestly the best deck in our format right now, at least based off of the results for the past 2 weeks. It's also absolutely killing it in Players' Cup right now. It's just a really, really good deck, so I think we should get into it, guys. We should play some games and hopefully show you a little bit about what Luke Metal can do. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, let's get into it. Playing some Luke Metal. The matchups on the ladder with Luke Metal can be super interesting. They can either go really, really long, or they can be pretty short. Honestly, that's kind of just how Luke Metal is. But hopefully we find some good games. It's gonna take a little while to find an opponent. Okay, there we go. Gonna get it. We're playing No Bukai 48. He's got the Etern box. I don't know if he's playing Etern or not. If he is, honestly, we don't want to start with Luke Metal. So just knowing that tad bit of info, potentially, we're probably just going to choose to not start Luke Metal if we can help it. And he's actually also mulliganing. I don't know if we both get to see each other's hands. I'm going to mulligan more than once. We mulligan kind of often with Luke Metal, to be honest with you, because we only have 8 basics in deck. Look at that, yeah. So we're playing Etern. Okay, so if we can help it, we're not going to start off, we're not going to play Luke Metal down. Our best bet in this matchup is to get 1 Zacian and 2 Zamazentas down, and just hope that he can't go through 2 Zamazentas. And that's really just going to be our best bet here. So a little bit of an interesting matchup. We're not technically going to be able to showcase the, the Luke Metal craziness that can potentially happen, but I think for this matchup, it's not worth putting down Luke Metal, because then he just has to go through 1 Zamazenta, which they can do if he's playing Phoebe. So that's going to be, that's going to be our strategy here. He's taking a while here. I don't know what he's kind of waiting for. He's probably looking to see what I'm playing. Yeah, okay, so cool. We don't actually want to play down that second Zacian, to be honest with you. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to attach, and we can just feel free to Intrepid pretty freely here. Cape is actually probably the best thing to put on our Zamazentas in this matchup. It's also probably pretty good to put on Zacians as well. Kind of forces us to get that him to get that full bench most of the time to KO our Zacian. He puts on the Power Plant, which is fine. We're totally fine with that. We have no real great way of searching Zamazenta, but what we can do, I suppose, is just go ahead and grab Capture Energy with Guzma Hala, attach it to Zacian, which isn't super ideal. and then just put Zamazenta on the bench. We can switch into it as well pretty freely, I think, and we can just start Intrepid sorting to pile up some more cards in hand. He's going to get one Etern V on the board, Yveltal, Crobat for a few more cards here. If he whiffs Energy Attachment, that's going to be really big for us. Puts a second Etern down, only has one bench space left, and now we're going to see the research come out. We'll see what he's discarding. So he actually discards his Pal Pad, which is massive for us. Extremely, extremely massive. So if we get a second Zamazenta down, I don't even know if he can possibly win the game. He's going to switch into the Etern here, put down Yveltal, and we are going to see a Power Accelerator come off, and he's going to go ahead and attach that to the Eternatus. So kind of forcing us, 100% honest with you, to grab our Zamazenta. It's almost just entirely needed at this point. We're going to discard Zacian, and I think we can discard... what do we want to discard? We could discard the other Guzma Hala. I don't really want to do that, though. So I'm actually just going to discard Tackle. We have 4 of them in the deck, so it should be fine. Let's grab Power Plant, grab another Cape, and let's grab Capture Energy. Yeah, we're gonna do what we said last turn. We're gonna attach the Capture. We're gonna grab our Zam. We're gonna feel free to just switch in. We can attach Cape to both of these guys. We're gonna put the Swell down. And now we can just start Intrepid sorting with our Zacian here. I draw into Marnie, Coding, and Boss. So it is what it is. Unless he has Boss, like Evolution, full bench, our Zacian is going to be pretty safe here. He gets the second one onto his Etern, and he evolves it. So we could just see a Boss here, actually. He doesn't have any in his discard pile. He's going to Marnie us, which is kind of fine. Not a huge deal. But we're going to want to start attaching to our Zamazentas while we Intrepid. When we draw into our second Zamazenta and a Cynthia Caitlin to draw some more cards, which is actually pretty cool for us. We could see actually a Phoebe this turn. Well, no, he just Marnied, but if he does Phoebe, he needs to hit for 280 on our Zamazenta. So he just needs to Goon Ping it. And then full bench KO with Phoebe. Probably not super likely, to be 100% honest with you. You know, it is what it is. He's going to almost fill up his bench already. He's going to Crobat for a nice 5 cards, I think that was, which is pretty cool. He actually plays Hammers, which I think is kind of common, actually. Etern typically plays Hammers. We're going to see him calm away the Spiritomb, and he's attached 3 energies to his Eterns, and he hasn't really started attaching to his Yveltals yet, which could be pretty good options for him to start, of course, you know, hitting into us. Yeah, so he's just going to go ahead and pass there. He can't do any damage. We do have a basic energy, which is pretty good. So we can attach that to the Zam pretty freely. I'm going to bench the second Zam just because why not? And we are just going to Cynthia Caitlin, and we're going to discard 1 switch. Grab a Guzma Hala because why not? And we're going to go ahead and draw 3 more cards here. Okay. So not terrible, right? Not terrible. Let's Intrepid. We find the energy. We are going to attach here. So if he bosses and KOs our Zacian with his 3-card hand, then it is what it is, realistically. You know, but... you know, if he doesn't do that, we can honestly probably just switch in, get a nice attack off on an Etern here, and start rolling. He's still committing energies to his Etern, which is interesting. He might be playing more than 1 Phoebe, but he's actually just going to research again, discarding Spiritomb, Goon, Crobat. Here's a Crushing Hammer come out. It's heads. He's going to probably knock it off the Zamazenta. He actually knocks it off the Zacian, which is fine, because it was actually the code. He actually knocked off the Capture Energy, but he hits a second Hammer anyway, because this man is an absolute god. Only 12 cards in deck and 2 Zamazentas, but he did discard Pal Pads, so I really don't know what his out is for this deck. He has to go through 2 Zamazentas. One of them has a Cape, so he needs to Goon Ping it, but he doesn't actually have the bench space to Goon Ping, so I really don't know what this guy's doing. He's burning through cards from his deck. He's attaching to Eterns. I really don't know what his out is here, to be 100% honest with you. So we're just going to attach to Zamazenta, and we're going to Intrepid. It's the safest play. It's just the best way to set up our board state, get energies on all our Pokemon. That's just the best thing for us to do in this matchup, because again, his Etern VMAXs can't hit our Zamazentas, and he's actually not even one-shotting. So here comes the boss. We are going to see a KO on our Zacian. Not a huge deal. I mean, it is what it is. It would have been nice to get some damage off, but again, at the end of the day, you know, it's not really doing anything for him in the long run. And now, actually, well, we're down another Cape, so I guess we're probably just going to attach the goggles that we top decked. We're going to attach there. We can put Doll down. And, I don't think we really want to do anything else here. I mean, we could Cynthia Caitlin, but what do we want to grab, I guess? We can't even grab Cynthia Caitlin, so I don't know if it's really worth doing that at the moment. We're just going to start attacking. He could have Phoebe in his deck, in his hand, but again, even if he like, I don't even think he's one-shotting our Zamazenta, or you don't even think he can unless he has a way to get an extra damage counter onto us, because we have 280 HP. And if he pops that Phoebe, he already discarded Pal Pad, so he has no way to get it back, probably. And if we wanted to, we could probably just pass, because his bench is full. He's going to start attaching to the Yveltal, which is fine. So if we don't see the Phoebe here, he's probably just going to hit us with the Yveltal. Not a huge deal. Not a huge deal at all. So we're going to see the pass. And I actually don't want to KO anything, to be honest with you. Mainly because it's probably more likely that he's going to deck out here before he's KOing this Zamazenta. Because like I said, right, if he does pop Phoebe, hit us for 270, we're still living on 1 HP. But we can't really bench anything else either. So we're in an interesting situation. I think it's always worth to just hit him because we're not KOing him. But I think what we want to do here is Guzma Hala so we can grab an energy at least to attach to our Zamazenta. We're going to discard Quick Ball and Tackle. Or we could discard Goggles. I don't know why we didn't. But let's grab all of this good stuff here. Yeah, I guess we'll just grab the Coating. We could have grabbed Capture there. I mean, we wouldn't have grabbed anything, but it's just a basic energy. Like a colorless energy. But yeah, let's just do this. We're going to hit into him. He might honestly want us to KO his Etern. Like, I think that's probably what he wants from us. Because then, you know, he would be in a position to where he can potentially KO us. But we don't want to do that. He's got 1 Goon on board, 2 in the discard pile. He does attach the second one to the Yveltal, so he can derail us this turn. Again, not that big of a deal. He actually bosses into this Zamazenta, which is super interesting because he's not doing any damage. And that was honestly definitely a misplay on his part, because what we can do is just switch into this guy, attach the Capture. We're not going to grab anything, and we can just KO this Yveltal now. Now, technically, I suppose he could KO our active Zamazenta if he had Zigzagoon Phoebe, and he can finish this off with Etern, but I don't foresee him having double Phoebe or KOing both of our Zamazentas here because he is down Pal Pad, so, you know, we'll see how it is. And if we do see the Phoebe here, again, he's not even KOing. He's going to Marnie. So if he is running Phoebe, maybe he prized it, or it's in one of the last few cards of his deck. Either way, if he has it in deck, he has it now. And he is going to start setting up this Yveltal here. We're probably going to want to Marnie him because we would like to have Mallow Lana in hand just in case. But yeah, well played, my man. Yeah, so that's, I mean, again, that's kind of how the Etern matchup goes. As long as you get double Zam on the board and you don't bench the Luke Metal. It was good for us, that game. Again, if we had to start Luke Metal, it would have been more difficult for us. We would have had to try different things. Looks like we might be playing a peak here. We're playing Solaire, 92. So let's see how the matchup goes. I'm actually pretty interested. It's going to be pretty interesting. Nonetheless, we always want to go first with Luke Metal. It's always the best to just attach and try to Intrepid here. We do start with Zacian. No way to grab Luke Metal, unfortunately, here in this first hand. But, you know, not the end of the world. We see that we are playing Peak. So he's also playing Swell. So it is what it is, honestly. We're going to play our own Swell just because, you know, that'll be a dead card in his deck. Okay, so we grab Doll, which we can switch into next turn. We just want to find a way to grab our Luke Metal. Luke Metaling in this matchup is extremely good. It's extremely, extremely good. Full Metal Walling, discarding some energies. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. He gets that Mewtwo up to 300 HP, which is cool. You don't actually see Big Charm a whole lot in Pikarom anymore, because a lot of people are probably playing Stealthy Hood. He's going to Dedenne away the hand here. He discards Bolton, Boss's Orders, E-Switch, and Quick Ball. So probably just going to be a nice little classic Pikarom list. We see the Hammer come out. It's heads, of course. Why wouldn't it be? We do have 3 Saucers in hand, so not a big deal. We're probably going to bench Doll, switch into its Saucer, and get some shenanigans going. But before that, we probably want to Cynthia Caitlin, draw some extra cards to see if we can potentially find that Luke Metal. And he might Crobat in the same turn here. Again, he's just kind of playing really quickly. The way that we win this matchup is by him sort of playing too quickly, using too many resources early on. And he actually Marnies us, which could be good, could be bad. Either way, 3 Saucers on the bottom of the deck, 2 Mallow Lanas on the bottom of the deck. Not good, really, so we're going to want to switch. We're going to want to shuffle our cards pretty well. But we draw our own Marnie, which is totally cool with that. I'm cool with that. And we see the Electrify come out. All good in the hood. Nothing crazy here. Okay, so we do find Doll. We're going to bench that. We are going to bench Luke Metal, and we're going to Marnie because we do not need Zamazentas really in this matchup. What are we drawing to? Okay, so we draw into Tag Call, but we do actually draw into a Capture Energy, which is going to be enough. He's down 1 boss, too, so that's something to keep in mind here. I'm going to attach the Capture to Luke Metal. And I am going to actually bench this second Zacian because we are going to Intrepid with this one. And I think that that's probably our best decision here. So, yeah, we're going to do that. Our Zacian could be taking some damage here, which is never ideal, but we can always tag haul for Mallow Lana next turn. Didn't find any energies off that, but that's totally cool. If he goes into this Mewtwo here and he full blitzes, you know, really not the end of the world. We're going to full metal wall him, discard some energy. So, you know, we're definitely in a pretty decent position. Nonetheless, the fact that he's setting up Mewtwo is pretty good for us because we resist Psychic, right? But he has the Mewtwo and the Choo-Choo on board. Does have Pikarom in the discard pile. He actually splits energies here, so we could see another Electrify. He's just going to Marnie us 2 turns in a row, which is totally cool. Did we shuffle our deck last time? Maybe we should have. But we draw into our own Marnie as well, so just keep them coming. You know what I mean? Just keep the Marnies coming. Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and Electrify, which is... I mean, it's not great, really. It's not the best for us. But what we're going to do here is we're going to switch into Doll. We're going to attach the coating to Luke Metal. And I don't know if we even want a Marnie. We might. Yeah, we're going to Marnie. Okay. All right. Interesting hand. Definitely pretty interesting. Hopefully he doesn't have Boss in his hand, right? That would just be pretty bad for us. But we're going to Intrepid. Don't find any energies this time. Kind of drawing a little bit, unfortunately, here. He does have a nice start. But after we get a full metal wall off, I'm pretty confident that we're going to be in a pretty decent position. And I think if we want to full metal wall something, we probably should full metal wall the Raichu. Just kind of force him to attack with Mewtwo. But if he has Boss here, so we see another hammer come out. It's Tails. If he bosses and KOs our Zacian, then we're going to be in a kind of a interesting position for sure. But he puts the Air Balloon on Bolton, which makes me think that he's probably going to retreat. And he's probably going to full blitz. We don't have Boss in hand. That would be really good if we had Boss. He's going to boss up the Zacian, which means he probably is going to get some nice damage off into it and KO it. Again, pretty unfortunate for us, to be 100% honest. But, you know, there's not much really that we can do in this scenario. He's playing pretty correctly. He hasn't discarded any energies. So, you know, not much else that we can really do. Kind of thinking what our best option here is. The fact that he has Air Balloon on this, I mean, we could full metal wall it, but I don't know if we really need to. We're going to Saucer to Zacian. We're going to attach to Zacian. We want to get... we definitely want to get Goggles off on these Pokemon here. We don't really want to put Capes on Zacian, but I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world if we did do that. But I think we're going to switch into the Doll. We're down 2 switch cards, 2 Saucers. And I am actually going to attach Cape to Zacian just because, why not? And we're going to go ahead and... do we have any supporter in here? We have Marnie, so we're just going to Marnie again. And maybe... If we draw into a Saucer here, that could be really good because then... Yeah, okay, so we're definitely going to want to probably get the KO on this Bolton just immediately. And then we can full blitz later. So this is actually... Oh, no, we don't have an extra energy in the discard. Yeah, that sucks. Pretty unfortunate. What are the odds of him having his 3rd boss in his hand? Do we take the gamble here and just Intrepid, or do we full metal wall this turn is the question. If we full metal wall, he's only down 2 energies. We have Mallow Lana in hand. Full metal wall might be our best option. But if he's got 4 cards in deck, 3 Marnies, his bench is full, so he's not drawing any more cards. We're going to Intrepid. We're going to roll the dice. Probably not the smart decision, to be completely honest with you. But if he doesn't find Boss this turn, then we're in a really good spot. So we're just going to hope he doesn't have another Boss after just we Martied him into one last turn. If he has this, another one, if we Martied him into another one, you know what, we deserve to lose because that's very unfortunate. He attaches to Bolton. He's splitting his energies really properly, so I think that's smart on his part for sure. And we're going to see. We're going to see what he does. Now, Raichu does resist metal, so we got to keep that in mind. And he Marnies us. Okay. So that's kind of cool. That means that we're probably going to be able to get some damage off on something with Zacian this turn. And if he just attacks our Doll, that's an even better scenario. So he goes into the Crobat. That's kind of fine. That's kind of fine. So we're going to pop Doll. And now I think what we need to do is we are going to attach to Luke Metal. And I think what we need to do is start KOing this Bolton here. This one's got the Air Balloon. It's just, you know, It's just tricky because he is spreading his energies properly. He is playing the matchup very well, and we did get a little bit unfortunate. We're taking 2 prize cards here. Let's see what we grab. Tag Call, which is really good for us, and a Switch, which is also really good for us. We haven't Full Metal Walled yet, so we're probably going to want to do that next turn. He needs, like, a lot more energies here. If he Cocos for 2, then, you know, he might KO, because then what is that, 8? He stamps us, actually. Dang. Okay. We won, like, okay, actually, this is fine. This is fine. We have Boss and Tackle, so we're kind of in a pretty decent position. We also have Switch, which is cool. Everything here is going pretty well. I think our main priority, if we do want a Full Metal Wall next turn, is going to be on this Bolton. And that's mainly, yeah, he just Bolt Storms for 190. So it kind of, it's not amazing, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to Mallow Lana anyway. So we're going to go ahead and grab these 2, just so we can discard that Luke Metal. Excuse me. We're going to bench that Doll. And we can actually tackle yet again, and we might as well grab a Cynthia Caitlin and another Mallow Lana. Actually, we don't want to... No, we're going to grab a Guzma Hala because we're going to discard it. Okay, so we're going to Mallow Lana. We're going to discard Luke Metal and Guzma Hala. We're going to go into our Lucario Melmetal here, and we could switch back in and KO the Bolton. That's actually one scenario here. And that actually might be our best case scenario. That might be the best thing that we could possibly do here. Actually, now that I think about it. Because we have Boss in hand. Yeah, and I think we're safe from getting KO next turn. So yeah, I mean, this is actually the play. This is our best play. We're just going Turbo Zacian at this point. The thing is, if he does set up his Boltons, it is technically correct. But us kind of fortunately drawing a little bit decent that turn is good. We take our fourth... You know, our first 4 prizes. We have Boss in hand. We can just Mallow Lana. Or we could, well, yeah, it's a little bit awkward because we need a few more pieces to get, you know, to win next turn. But unless we see like a tag switch, our Zacian's probably just safe from getting KO'd, right? He's going to research away. So he's down 4 energies to reset stamps. We draw into tackle, which is pretty cool. If we see a full blitz from him, you know, it is what it is. But the fact that we actually do have Switch in hand is really, really good, and we haven't Full Metal Walled yet. Typically, just holding our Full Metal Walls as long as possible is going to be the best thing we can do in this game, right? It really is. He benches the Coco, and okay, so this is pretty good for him. He's going to set up a third Zacian, or a third Bolton. Some people play 4, sometimes they play 4. I don't know. You know, did he actually just miss a... Oh, no, he only had 1 basic in there, maybe, I guess. So this is interesting. He actually tag bolts for the KO, which I guess is probably the best decision for him. Taking those prize cards, going to be really, really good, I think. Most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. So we still have Syncate here. I think that's what we're going to do is we're going to tag call. We want to grab Mallow Lana Cynthia Caitlin. And we're going to Syncate away the... Saucer. Let's grab Boss. I think Boss is going to be really, really good here. And that's because if we draw into an energy, which we do, we pretty much win the game, right? I think, because he has to hit for 290, so he's got 7 on board. That's 220. And he doesn't really have any way to get up to 290 next turn. So I think if we just attach to Luke Metal, how many Marnies is he down? He's down 3 Marnies. 2 reset stamps. So unless he Marnies us this turn, we kind of have game, I think. So we are going to attach to Luke Metal. I don't think Full Metal Walling is the correct play here. I think that we literally just go ahead and we Heavy Impact for 150. And we have Boss in hand. As long as he doesn't play a 3rd stamp or a 4th Marnie or something next turn, we should be able to win here. And I don't think that he has what it takes to paralyze us. And we do also have Switch and Doll. So if he does go into Choo Choo there and he you know, Lightning Rides us, or Tandem Shocks us, we're going to be in a pretty decent position. So again, no Marty, we win. Yeah, okay. So that's a good game. Yeah, we're just going to, you know, well played him. I mean, he played it properly, in my opinion. I think he did play it really well. It was just a little bit unfortunate for him, I think. You know, definitely want to click the right attack. A little bit unfortunate for him in terms of us kind of drawing those cards when we needed them. But I think he made probably most of the correct decisions. This matchup can be definitely very 50-50 for sure. But yeah, there it is, guys. That's Luke Metal. This was the deck that won Chill Series number 28. Joshua Sutherland is an amazing player. And if you guys want to go watch that Grand Finals match, I actually have it posted here on the channel. So, you know, definitely go check that out. Link to it will be down in the description below, or there will be an annotation like up here. So go and click that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love Luke Metal. It's my #1 pick right now for Players Cup. It's doing really well for me. And again, it is the most successful deck in our format right now in the last few weeks. It has a great matchup against a lot of the format right now, and it's just a really powerful deck. So I do suggest that you go play it. And hopefully, you know, this video, I guess, kind of sold the deck for you. I don't know. Maybe not. If not, Joshua Sutherland might have done it. So big shout out to him. Chill Series number 28 champ. 2-time champ. Sorry, Josh. I wanted to get you in for the video, but it was Wednesday today. I was really busy. I just didn't have a lot of time. And if you're watching this guy's Chill Series, I mean, the Chill Series number, I guess when this comes out. Yeah, actually, so as I record this tonight, it's Chill Series, the Last Chance Qualifier. And by the time the video comes out, the tournaments probably are going to be going on, so I do apologize. But if you're watching this, Season 4 of Chill Series is coming next week. Chill Series number 30. We're kicking off Season 4 with our amazing new sponsor, PTCGO Zone, down below there. And just a whole new different season for Chill Series. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be super fun. So definitely go check that out. The registration page for next week's tournament probably won't be up yet for this video, but just know that it will be on Wednesday next week, and it's going to be really, really cool. Shout out to the channel members. You guys are the best. That's why we're able to do this every week. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. It means a lot to me. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Yeah, have a good night.